Okay.
Time you ever mentioned that the opportunity to get money from him. He never offered again. Really?
We're a bit early, but let's start and not waste any more time.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Australian Numismatic Society's meeting 1229. It's probably a special meeting because I'm back.
Well, we're having an AGM just for you.
Yeah. We have apologies from Les Carlisle, Robert Tonner, Paul Neumann, Ron Bolden, Joe Dedling, Murray Brad, Ross Bradley. I did stop down at Nobles, and Jim put in his apologies, and he also said that apologies from
Colin
because
Bob?
he's down at well, Colin's down at Lake Anjola,
Jim.
and Bob Clemson's in India, so I should imagine he's not going to be here either.
Have you seen David Southgate recently at all?
No.
Because he hasn't renewed, so I'll have to email him to see, because I haven't heard from him for a long time.
Okay. We have a visitor amongst us, Simone Cornell. She's expressed a lot of interest in numismatics and driving me around.
Welcome.
So she'll be here to talk to tonight too. Most people already know that our beloved Queen Elizabeth II passed away last Friday, or late. Well,
Thursday.
we say last Friday here, but it was last Thursday, I think. So we'll all be upstanding for a minute's silence, please. Thank you very much. I dare say that everybody has been bombarded by all the media about Queen Elizabeth, and you've no doubt, if you've had time to have a look at any of the footage, there's always something in there that's interesting that you've never really seen before. But then again, if you look at it for 4 days straight, well then, you'll see just about everything. But Rod's going to show now some Australian banknotes with the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II over the past 70 years.
Yes.
So,
These are the portraits of Queen Elizabeth II on our banknotes. It started off with a £1 note, and in 1953, 53, when it came out, the signature combination was Coombs and Wilson. And the Coombs and Wilson signature combination went through all the way through to 67. So, and Coombs and Wilson were actually the signatories on the George VI notes as well, from about 1950 something. So they had a 17-year run with that signature combination. When the first £1 came out, it was very similar to the her father's George VI £1 note. The only difference was the portrait. And in those days, you had the Secretary of the Treasury, and Nugget Coombs was the governor of the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. So in 1960, I think it's 60 or 61, the Reserve Bank was formed. And Coombs then became the governor of the Reserve Bank. And from that time onwards, we've had the signatories have been the governor of the Reserve Bank and the secretary of the Treasury. Those are the two signatories on our banknotes. In 66, we changed to decimal currency. And this one is a Phillips Wheeler from 1976, around 76. And at that stage, all our notes, they had the portrait of the Queen, but they showed the Commonwealth of Australia. In the same Phillips Wheeler signatories, the Commonwealth of Australia got changed just to Australia. The next change we had was onto polymers. And here's the Evans-Fraser polymer. The first polymer that came out was a very light color grey, and people got it confused with the $10 blue, the blue $10 note. I don't know why. I think they're very different, but they were saying they look very similar. So shortly thereafter, they changed the colour.
Oh, okay.
So-
I suppose it could, yeah.
Yeah, so the first one was a light purple, and then it was the darker purple that we used. And the last ones we have is the newest notes that came out in 2016. The 2016 was the forgotten who the
Stephen Fraser.
can't remember who the Secretary of the Treasury was.
Fraser.
Reserve Bank was Stevens.
And Stevens and
Fraser, I think it was.
Fraser.
So, but these are the notes we see nowadays. They were issued in 2016. If you look carefully at your notes, there were notes that were issued in these are the last notes, EJ. There were also notes issued in 2018 and 2019. So most of the notes were issued in 2016, but then here's one for 2019, so it starts with 19. So there were notes, the $5 notes have been issued in 2018, 2019 and 2020. I've only seen the 2019. I've never seen the 2018 or the 2020 notes, but they've been issued. I don't know if they're in circulation yet, but eventually they will be. But they have a very short run. There's sort of only, there's still millions of them, but the numbers only go up to like 600,000 or so. But then you have AH or EF, so it's a lot of prefixes. But they will be hard to find. And since most people don't look and don't collect, they become grubby notes pretty quickly. So if you're note collectors, keep looking for nice notes.
They're only $5. It's like we used to have in chewing notes. They used to be screwed up in the pocket, you know.
Yeah, but you have silly people like me who collect by serial numbers, serial letters. So I want the AA to AK all the way up to EJ, and that's 50 odd different serial prefixes. Sure, take it. Anyway, those are the only notes that were issued with the portrait of Queen Elizabeth. other high-value notes didn't have them. And it's surprising, they were saying that the Queen's portrait will appear on the lowest value Australian dollar note. Well, it's not quite right, because the pre-decimal, the lowest value was the 10 shillings. It was under £1. And when we got rid of the $2, they never put it, when we got rid of the $1 and the $2 was the lowest value, it didn't change. They just kept the same portraits.
We didn't have a $2
Yeah.
banknote.
Yeah, so
So,
the Queen sort of replaced Carolyn Chisholm on the $5.
You can also notice that, normally on our currency, the Queen's facing right,
Yeah,
and on those banknotes, she's facing north, face on.
yeah.
Yeah, see, so there is a bit of a different convention there. So, yeah. All right. Thanks for that, Rod.
Now, some of the other banknotes of the different countries have got it facing on too, because I've seen some of the other ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got more, quite a lot more of it actually, yeah.
But a lot of people have collected the Queen on the Commonwealth banknotes, and that is a big series.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll move on to general business. Is there anybody who wants to bring anything up to start with?
Morris had a good suggestion earlier on that we have the money fair is on at the town hall on the 8th and 9th of October, and Morris has suggested that anybody who comes to our table and shows interest in the society, we should offer free membership to
For 1 year.
for 1 year,
For the first year.
for the first year. So,
Depends how much money you can do it for, but it's only...
yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. If we can't get them by any other means, let's get them in and
Yeah.
let's get them interested in,
Yeah,
As long as they are under 50, let's say.
let's not discriminate. Even if they're old like us, we can get them here, that's
Well, they can't
good.
be old as us.
I'm over 50 now,
Well,
so, yeah.
50 is quite young, actually.
Yeah, yeah. If they're 50, they're great.
They
Well,
can join.
For the members that are actually going to go to the money fair and man the table, just take that on board. If you feel that somebody is expressing a lot of interest in what we do as the Australian Numismatic Society, well then, give them the incentive to sign up for the first year for free.
We,
And then,
we've gotten a few new members from the fair there,
yeah,
but most of them only last a year or two, and then I don't know if they get bored with us or what, but they don't sort of stay for too many years. We have a few who stay on, but they're like Ian Seisland. They sort of come. We haven't seen Ian for a while, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back. But
yeah.
a lot of the others have just lasted a year or 2 years and dropped off.
Okay. All right. Okay, the ANS auction, number 49, closes on the 8th of October. That will be at our meeting on the 8th of October?
Now our meeting's the
10th.
our meeting's the 10th. The 8th is the Saturday of the money fair.
I'll be giving my apologies
So-
for next month. Yeah.
After the money fair, I'll be dashing off home, getting all the late bids, added them in. Luckily, I can do that at my leisure because emails have the time that it's come in, so they'll be put in order.
Can you put my apologies in for next month? I won't be here.
So we're not having the luxury of having the last bid anymore at the meetings?
No, we don't have them at the meetings anymore.
Yeah.
Mainly, John, because it's just too much trouble to close the fair, the auction at 4 o'clock, get the bids sorted out, and bring everything in here. So
Yeah.
it's much easier to close it at home at 8 o'clock at my leisure, tell everyone what they've won, and then say to the people who come here, do you want me to bring any lots in for you on the Monday? The only difference is that people don't get to see in hand the items,
Yeah.
but there's pretty good
Well,
images.
the images are quite
Yeah,
good.
they are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the images are larger than the lots themselves.
Well, it's pretty much the norm now with any auction, you don't get to see too much actual viewing.
Yeah.
Okay. On that point, the end of money fair will be at the Lower Town Hall on the 8th and 9th of October. Rod's organised a table that, that we need to man. We need volunteers to man the table and help. And what we generally do is
Sit at the front.
Information.
Yeah, we're the information desk at the front, and we collect the gold coin as they come through and give them the little booklet.
At this age, I'll have to give my apologies, I'll be away, well, I might be back on the Sunday.
Okay, if you are, we'll see you on the Sunday.
Possibly,
Yeah.
just depends on my driver.
So the end affair is on Saturday, the 8th of October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's really only a 6-hour day. Sunday, 9th of October, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if anyone can sort of help out on the table, then please come along. Do we have to book? Do we have to sort of let them know in advance?
Yeah, let me know so I can say whether you're Saturday and Sunday. We'll try and split it evenly between the 2 days, and I'll let them know so that they can produce the name tags for us.
Yeah.
There's a new coordinator there, so Shelley, the lady who used to run it, is no longer running it,
Right.
and this gentleman who's running it, Mark, I haven't met him, and he's not quite as communicative email-wise as she was, but when I asked him if the Royal Australian Mint was going to be there, because the last time they held one on the 19th, we were all queuing up to swap coins with them, and as far as I know, they're not going to be there this time, which is a shame.
Okay. All right. Our next meeting is on Monday, the 10th of October at Philas House here at 8 p.m. The topic is going to be ships and navigators.
Something different, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there are other navigators besides Captain Cook.
Except for Cook.
For those of you who don't know, our Captain Cook medals that everyone got in 2020 for the 250th anniversary, I made extra because Cook was such a popular collectible. So we made an extra 50 of these silver ones and an extra 100 of the gold ones, and we didn't sell them all. We sold some to the Cook Society, but I had about 50 odd still left over. So I made an arrangement with
Wynyard Coins.
yeah, to flog them. So we're selling them to Wynyard Coins at $15, and they're selling them to their clients at 20. And so far they've taken 10 silver and 20 gold ones. So that's pretty good. So that's a little bit more money coming back into our kitty.
Yeah.
Do you still have any left?
Yeah, no, we don't have the stock.
Sorry?
Do you still have any left?
Yes. You should have got them at the
I
time.
did, but I think I gave them away because Christopher was very keen on Captain Cook.
Okay.
Rod, you've also got here that you're going to give us an update on the premises that we are in at the moment.
Yes. Now, this location here in Philas House, Philas owns 3 floors in this house, and there's 2 floors. The 4th and 5th floor are owned by the Fink Group up top. But there's a lot of structural problems that will need to be fixed in the not too distant future. On the roof and in a lot of the windows and the window areas. And they've done assessment, and the estimate is it's going to be costing about $500,000 to do all these repairs and fix it up. So Philas's share would be $300,000. Well, Philas only has $300,000 in their kitty. So they're running short of funds, and if they put it there, they don't have really any working capital. They get all their income from the auctions that they run. And over COVID, they couldn't run a lot of the auctions, so they didn't have income coming in. So as a result, the sort of executive have thought that one way of getting out of that monetary problem would be to sell these 3 floors, and with that money to buy another location somewhere. But you really don't want to sell until you buy. You want to do the swap. Now, initially, they looked at a premises in Hurstville, which was, from what I gather, a nice 3-story building, which had about twice the space that Philas has here. They actually made an offer under a memorandum of understanding that they would like to buy that place, but they had to sell this place first. And initially, that place was going to be $6.5 million, or a little over 645 or something like that. And they needed to get about $500,000 more for the sale of this place to make the transaction worthwhile. And they couldn't get the money that they were hoping for.
Yeah.
They had an offer of 7.1, I think it was, here. But it wasn't enough to buy the other place and to pay for it. So that fell through. They've looked at another 3-story building, I believe, along the Pacific Highway at Crow's Nest, down that way, which would have fit. But again, because we have to sell before we can buy, it's sort of fallen through. I believe someone else got it. They have since had an offer of 7.2 million for these 3 floors, and they're now looking at accepting that offer with the understanding that they have a long settlement period, maybe a 3-month plus extension, where they can find another location. So that is where it is at the present moment. But I also heard that the Hurstville premises that they were looking at hasn't sold, and the price has come down.
Oh,
So there could be the possibility that they go back to Hurstville. The Hurstville property is near the station. They said it's within 100 yards of the station, so you get off the station and you can walk there. It has parking for 17 cars. There's 2 ground floor shops that pay rent and what next at the present moment. So from Philas's perspective, it's quite good. But I don't think it'll work for the ANS, because they meet in the daytime, we meet at night. And the last thing a lot of people will be wanting to do is to come into the city by bus, jump on a train, have to go out there, then come back here, wait for your bus. I mean, the coming in mightn't be so bad, but the going home, 10 o'clock at night, is not such a good idea.
Well, it'd be a little bit better for me, because my train stops.
Oh yeah, it'd be good for you and John. You're close by.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
well,
Morris,
like
it probably wouldn't be too bad for you neither.
It's my route.
Yeah, but so I can't see it working for us. I'm sort of looking at that. I have sort of hinted to Jim that maybe we should meet at Noble Numismatics, and from next year, from next July, we will be meeting at Noble's 3 times in the year for their 3 auctions.
Yeah.
So we normally don't meet on the June, because it's the Queen's birthday long weekend. So that's only another, 4? There's only another 8 meetings that we have to fill. tonight, when Ross Proutley sent his apology, he was saying that the IBNS, where they normally meet at some church in Carlingford or other, but the numbers have dropped off. But they met this time at Roseville RSL. So they all had lunch at Roseville RSL on the Sunday. And I was thinking, okay, an RSL club, you know, maybe Chatswood or even Roseville, because Roseville's on the train station, has a train station, that might fit. Now, Ross said there was plenty of parking at Roseville RSL, so if push comes to the shove, you know, we can sort of see, because it's on the train line, if it's good for people or not. But it would be nicer to meet in the city where everything comes in. But if we can't, we have to see what we can get. So if anyone knows of any city location that has rooms that we can rent out once a month, you know, let us know, or make inquiries with them, and you know, we'll see if we can find a city location.
So you're still looking on a Monday night, or are you looking back at the Sunday?
Sorry?
Are you looking still on a Monday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd still try and keep the second Monday.
Second Monday.
But if we can't, I mean, if we had to, if they went to Hurstville and we wanted to, I guess there is a possibility we could have a Sunday meeting, Sunday afternoon meeting,
Yeah, okay, that'd be all right. Yeah.
something like that.
Like the other coin club.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Like the other coin club, they meet sort of Sunday afternoon.
Metropolitan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they go members wise.
Sorry?
How are they going members wise?
They get about 15.
So is
They have an
is
option.
the potential sale of the building,
Yeah. So it all depends on if this place is sold.
yeah,
We've actually paid the full year's rent there. I mean, we make a donation of $75 a month for every meeting we meet here to Philas Library Inc. So I have a nice receipt for the 9 months we're going to meet. But the thing is,
yeah,
we don't make enough money to have to pay tax or anything anyway. So
yeah,
there. But, yeah.
And would you approach the new owners? Maybe the new owners, would the new owners might let you do it?
It's hard to say. I doubt it, because we suspect that the new owners are the people who own the top 2 floors, and they're going to demolish the whole lot and rebuild.
Oh, okay.
So even though they could be the ones who made the 7.1, there's a lot of suspicion that through an agency they've made the 7.2 million bid as well. So,
Oh, so they'll rip it down and put something better up.
yeah. So time will tell.
all right.
So that's where we are with the update of Philas House.
Is there any other general business? Okay, well, we'll move on to the annual general meeting, because that's this time of the year again, and we'll have the treasurer give an update of the activities during the year and the financial position of the 30th of June and today.
Did everyone get a...
No, I didn't.
Could you hand them out?
No.
Pass them around.
Made 12 copies. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Exactly.
That's all right. Everyone else got one? Who else has got
2
one?
ladies. Did you get one, John?
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, so
We've got the same.
before we go through the figures, just a recap of what we did last year. I had a look at all up too, because I forgot. So June last year, June 2021, we actually held our conference in Coffs Harbour.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We managed to make the conference, and 2 weeks after we finished the conference, COVID struck and we were locked down for many months.
That's true, yeah.
The meetings from July to October were cancelled because of COVID. In July, we got the news that our friend Rudy Talmax had passed away. 2 weeks earlier at the conference, he was large as life, like Rudy always is. 2 weeks later, he's passed on.
Well, I had the privilege of having, I drove with Rudy to Coffs Harbour.
You shared a room with him.
That weekend, and I shared the room with him up there. And yeah, there was no indication that he was ill. He did have a bit of a cough, but that was more bronchial rather than, I believe he did pass away from a heart-related problem. And like I remember, like Rudy actually gave a paper on a person that has got a statue.
Percy Metcalf, I think it was.
Yeah. And he was his usual self with his arms swinging around and
Yep.
getting very vocal about the whole thing. And and even going home, he was talk all the time.
Typical
it was,
Rudy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise to me that he'd actually collapsed and died.
Yes. November we were at Noble Numismatics. That was our first meeting back for quite a few months. December we had the usual display competition and Christmas social, and David Mee won the display competition. January the topic was the coins of the USA. February was merchants' tokens of Australia and New Zealand. March again was Noble Numismatics. April was the numismatics coins and notes of Japan and Korea. May was the numismatic medals of clubs and societies. June, we normally don't have a meeting in June, but this year we did because we had 5 months where we didn't. So we had a conference here in this room on the Queen's birthday Monday, which went very well. We had 20 odd people seated there and we gave talks. Colin and David ran it from here. I televised it. It's all on YouTube for everyone to view, so it's really good. July this year, we had a topic of Egypt and Israel. And I was thinking, I wonder how much we'll get. But boy, we got a lot of stuff. David brought in some of the early Ptolemy stuff and what next. And we got, George Pulaski brought in stuff that he found in the Crusader castle when he went to school. And when they were refugees in Palestine. And when it's telling us about when they were in Egypt before they came to Australia, what next, that he had some of the coins and he met King Farouk. So that was his story, which was quite good. And last month we had Science and Scientists, which was quite good. Anyway, that's what our topics were last year. Getting back to putting on my treasurer's cap, the profit and loss. We had another good year. We actually had a profit, or I should say a surplus last year, of $1,283. And a lot of that, if you look at the top in donations, we got donations of $1,210.
Wow.
So the 1,283 was mainly the donations that we were given. And the donation was from Hugh Armstrong. So our Queensland member Hugh Armstrong passed away. And his family said, Dad said, I'm to send you all the ANS coins and medals to go in the auctions. So they put all Hugh's coins and things in our auctions, which we ran. He had some very nice material, and we got very good prices on. But his son John also said, my sisters and I would like to split the takings with the ANS. So half of what was sold came to us. So we got about $1,200 in commission. We got commission, but we got about $1,200 in donation as well. So, you know, his stuff in the 2 auctions went for $2,500. So that was quite good, or more. So we made a profit of 1,283. We're back into producing journals. So everyone's getting the printed journals, which are between 50 and 70 pages. And our editor, Judy Blackman in Canada, does a wonderful job on those journals. She really researches the materials, and from the basic information she has, she creates really good articles. And it's nice, not only do we have them as a PDF version for everyone to read, we also have a printed version that we send to all members. So that is very nice to have. It is planned that we will continue producing 2 journals a year, between 50 and 70 pages. And the money we make from the sale of the medals and the auction money should help cover the costs. Basically, you can see last year we had an income of 17,900 and an expenditure of 16,006. So we made that little profit.
Just on the medals, with the money fair, will we be selling some of those Cook medals as well?
Yeah, I'll take those Cook medals and the proclamation medals.
Now,
And
are we
so-
going to go with the price that Wynyard Coins are selling them at? Or
Yes.
are we going to
No, we'll go to Wynyard
bring
Coins
it up to
price.
the $20?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'll offer them for 20. And I'll take the proclamation medals as well, a couple of each of those, for anyone who wants to buy them. And we'll probably sell them to the general public at $15 each.
Okay.
We also have journals and things as well that we still try to sell. So slowly, the pile of journals is going down, but boy, I still have a lot of NAA journals and our own conference journals and things. You know, there's still boxes of them. You know, one of these days my attic floor is going to fall in.
Okay.
So currently you can see at the bottom the profit and loss balance. We had a total of $58,484 in our term deposits and our check account. If you turn over the page, go to the next page, you will see things as they stand today. And
Okay.
we've moved a lot of money out of our check account into our term deposits, because finally the interest rate has gone up from 0.25% to 2.5%,
Well,
and it's now at 3%. But when we transfer them across there, so we currently have $57,000 in term deposits, and luckily they're nearly all getting 2 or 2.5%. We were very lucky with our term deposits, because prior to COVID and the lockdown, we had all our money in 6 term deposits, but they were all in for 5 years. So we had our money in for 5 years, and we had a term deposit that was maturing every year, 1 per 5 years. So the theory was that you had 5 term deposits at 10,000 each, that if you needed money for anything, you had one coming up and you could utilize that money for whatever you needed. But when COVID struck and suddenly the interest rate went down and down and down, and when it got to 0.25%, we just renewed it for a year for 0.25%. So we had 2 or 3 of them at 0.25%. But luckily, when they matured, they got renewed at 2.5%. So, you know, we're going to be getting a little bit more interest, but nothing like the 6 and 7% we used to get. Yes, this is how our balance sheet stands today. It's pretty good.
It is good.
Currently, the check account still has $3,900, so that's enough to pay for the next printing of the next journal, which is about $1,000. It's enough to make the next set of proclamation medals. There's another set to be made, which will be about $600 or $700, and it would still leave us plenty of cash to working capital. What I have been doing with the working capital is that as the auctions finish and I start getting the money in from all the buyers, usually within a week everyone's paid all their money direct into the ANS account, so that's pretty good. I then pay the vendors. I normally pay the vendors from my own account because with the ANS account you need 2 signatures, so Tony and I have to do it, and you can't do a direct deposit with the 2 signatures. It makes it really difficult. So I will pay everyone, and then I'd rather check for what it all cost and any other incidentals, and we just go and cash the check back into my account. So I pay it first, get it back. But it's a quick way of doing it. It's an easy way of doing it. The only thing I have to do is make sure I have about $2,000 around to pay it first before the check comes in.
Very good.
Yeah.
Was there any questions about the Treasurer's report?
No.
No one's got any questions?
Yeah, well done again, Rod.
Yeah, well done. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'll give you the President's report, and then we'll vacate the chair, and we'll talk about the election of the new council for the next 12 months.
Yep. So
Okay.
there have been no other nominations.
Well, I'll read my President's report first, and
Yeah.
then we can do no more nominations.
Yep.
Okay, the past few years of COVID-19 restrictions have played havoc with the running of the ANS, not to mention the turmoil all around the world. The committee spent many hours formulating new innovative ways to keep the membership informed and updated about our hobby of numismatics. Online meetings were trialled, presentation of literature talks via the internet were embraced by some members. All in all, we maintained the consistency of our monthly meetings to keep the ANS members together. The 2020 biennial conference at Coffs Harbour was postponed for a year. Then as the COVID-19 restrictions were eased, the committee managed to pull the members together again by organising the biennial conference at Coffs Harbour in 2021 on the usual June long weekend. Approximately 20 members from both Sydney and Brisbane converged on Sanctuary Cove for an informative and fun-filled conference. Yeah, look, I've always said that when we go to the conferences, we have a great time. You know, because you get to talk to people from Brisbane, and they interact quite well. I'm sure that everybody agrees that that we have a good time.
Yeah, and it worked out well considering the catering was off over there.
It goes without saying, we all know who I am referring to when I speak of organisation and change within the ANS. I'd like to sincerely thank Rod Sell for his tireless efforts in keeping the wheels of our great society turning. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you.
During the course of COVID restrictions, Rod has also continued with the online auctions conducted a number of times per year, keeping the members interested, which is reflected by the top prices achieved on most lots, especially ANS medals. And he just mentioned to you that we basically got the donation from Hugh Armstrong's estate because we got really good prices on our medals in the auction. And again, it's all Rod's doing. What am I up to? Okay. There have been sad times during the past year with the passing of a number of our members again. You know, and I suppose this is why we're always sort of looking to try and figure out how we're going to get new members, because you know, we seem to be losing a few members every year now, and it's a bit concerning to us. Malcolm Johnson, Alex Brond, that was quite a surprise to me that Alex had passed away. Maurice Kean, Rudy Talmack, well, as we just mentioned, Rudy Talmack, he was full of life 2 weeks before he died. And, you know, we had a great time up in Coffs Harbour, but Terry Gallant and Stephen Cole are no longer with us. May they all rest in peace. My own health has also taken a bit of a setback. In the beginning of June this year, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Totally unexpected, as there is no history of cancer in my family. This caused me to miss our mini conference, which I was looking forward to, and I think David and
Colin.
mentioned David and Colin took over from that, and I really thank you for that. What am I up to? In June, and 2 of our monthly meetings. Fortunately, again, swift thinking by our committee. And we all know who the committee is. Installing a vice president to chair the meetings has kept the society on track. I thank David for accepting the role and look forward to working with him in the future as the vice president. My chemotherapy treatment runs in 3-week cycles. I had my third cycle last Friday. I seem to be coping quite well with that, and yeah, every time I go for my chemo, I have to have a blood test so that they can sort of gauge my changes or my performance as far as you know, getting rid of this problem. Just lost my page. Yeah, so 3-week cycles, so there might be times that that the ANS meetings might clash with my treatment, but given that I'm coping well with it and that my blood tests before each session indicate I'm getting back to normal, gives me the confidence that I will eliminate this cancer. I'm staying positive. Well, by now everybody knows that we've lost our beloved monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, dying last week. Media coverage has been intense over the past 4 days, making me think about the future of our hobby. I believe that this event will only strengthen it, because you know, a lot of people are starting to sort of look at the you know, her life and what and how a lot of people like ourselves have portrayed the Queen. And you know, they've realised that there's lots and lots of medals out there, and I think maybe they're going to start sort of also starting to collect those things. So it might be worthwhile sort of you know, keeping that yeah, on board when we go to the money fair, because I sort of feel that maybe yeah, there's going to be a surge in interest in numismatics from for a while now. Yeah, and then also you've got to remember that yeah, that you know, it's going to be strengthened, but then we're also going to have another new area of collecting to move into with King Charles III. I saw an article on the television the other night that they were sort of thinking that they were going to use the effigy of Charles's 70th birthday effigy, but they've got to flip it around. Yeah, because the medal that they've produced over in England has him facing right, and he's got to be facing left. So, but I didn't hear any more about it, so I don't know whether that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think that's the ritual over there in the UK. They always swap it around.
Yeah,
It goes back to Charles II.
Yeah,
Yeah.
protocol is that he'd be facing left,
Mm.
but you know, I don't know how they're going to do that just yet. Yeah, so it's going to be a whole new area of collecting to move into. You know, like if you know, he starts sort of saying, well, we'll start collecting King Charles III. Thank you. Thanks to all those members who have participated in giving a talk during the last year. I believe that the strong membership base and ongoing interest in the ANS activities shown by all participants will continue throughout 2020, 2022, 2023. Thank you. All right. What do we do now, Rod? We all stand down.
Yeah, so all the positions are open, but there weren't any other nominations, so unless anyone would like to nominate now, if not, we will ask the sitting members if they're prepared to continue for another year.
No.
Okay.
We'll start with you, John. Are you happy to continue for another year?
Yes, I will.
Good.
Yeah, provided that I don't have any adverse effects, in the future. But all indication is that I'm going to be rid of this thing, by probably middle of November. So
So that's good.
So
You'll be
it'll be fine for me.
be fighting fit.
We also have David Mee as Vice President. Are you happy to continue?
Happy to continue,
Matthew,
Okay.
Secretary.
Yeah.
Treasurer and Membership Secretary.
Yeah, I'll continue.
And Rod Sell. Councillors, Tony disappeared in the corner. Does that mean that he doesn't want to do it anymore?
Don't take it as read.
Yeah, I'll tell you soon, yeah.
Tony Hall, Grant Chauvier, Peter Atherton and Frank Chauvier. Okay, well, basically that's the committee. If there's nobody else that wants to join in.
Yes,
to the
there's
committee,
room for other committee members. Anybody else like to join the committee?
We really do have a good time. You know why? Because he's the committee. He does all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope everyone comes so we get a quorum.
Yeah, well, that's very true. All right. Well, I would say that the new committee now is formed as per that list. So congratulations, all the committee.
Get on to numismatics.
That concludes our AGM.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
we'll move on to the topic of the night as numismatics of the 21st century. Did anyone bring along anything to show in the 21st century?
Oh, you're not quite off the show.
Okay, Frank, off you go. You can start.
What's your answer? Yeah, well,
Look,
that's about all mine will take too.
I think that. It's not a topic I collect. The 21st century coins I collect are basically ones that come in my change, when I buy something. I don't really look out much for that. My history, my feeling about history is that it's long ago, not just now. But history is always in the making. Anyway, but I've got one thing to show you, which has got a very mundane story to it. On Thursdays, my wife and I typically go shopping in the Mittagong Mall, and we celebrate that by having our weekly coffee and donuts at the Donut King. And the beauty of that is that they sell the coffee, $4 for the small one, which we have. She has a hot chocolate. But if you're a senior, you get 2 free cinnamon donuts, hot donuts, freshly made with it, okay, for nothing. So it cost $8. And I looked in normally I like to give the right change, I normally pay cash, and I had a $10 note. And he gave me this lovely coin in exchange, in the change, plus the coffee and two donuts each. And it's 2022, and I thought, that's a bit shiny, and I looked in the back, and it's got some colour on it. So, and I immediately as I saw it, I remembered, Matthew, your lovely presentation at the June conference, all about the portraits of Queen Elizabeth on our coinage. A beautifully thought out paper with all the little details. It was really terrific. So this one is the mature, the latest portrait with the pearls
Yes.
They're all approved by her. If you wanted one of the jobs that Her Majesty does, or
She
that
selects.
they do numismatically, is all the work of getting their portraits painted and then choosing the portraits for the coinage and approving it all. Must take an enormous amount of time. Anyway, this shows her as as the age she was. Well, yes, and it's about it commemorates on the back the Commonwealth Games, which has only happened.
Oh,
really,
yeah.
You know, not that long ago.
That's one from Woolworths.
Well,
Woolworths
okay,
change.
it may well have come from Woolworths, because we do go shopping at Woolworths, but this one was given to me by...
Does
my
it have an
auntie.
S on it?
Hmm?
What letter does it have on it? A, U or S?
It has an S.
Oh, that's
S?
the last of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the last of them.
That's the one I'm missing. I'll swamp you.
Anyway, I'll leave it with them here to have a look. But, so the one in S is mine, right? Okay, thank you.
Very nice.
Great.
Keep waiting a bit.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice one, actually.
I hope I'm on the right track here. It being 21st century, I think it didn't restrict us to Australia, of course. So the first one I found is the 10th anniversary of the independence of Fiji from England. And they,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Australia. With dent.
yeah, that's
Well, that's nice, yeah.
put out in 1980, and it's marking the 10th anniversary of the independence of Fiji from England on the 10th of October 1970. The obverse shows Prince Charles, now, of course, King Charles III.
That's quite
But
nice.
there's somewhat younger looking there. The reverse shows the Fiji coat of arms. On the crest is a Fijian canoe above a British lion, so it's very rather hard to see. The lion is holding a cocoa kernel. The body of it is split by the cross of St George, again with the association with England. And it shows sugarcane, coconut palm and bananas, which are natural resources of Fiji. And the bottom left shows a dove, they being a symbol of peace. So that covers Fiji. The next one, I think I was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. I don't know if you might remember, in 1983 we won the America's Cup. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that's a little one put out by that. But,
These are the 20th century coins, though, aren't they?
No,
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
well that's a tongue-in-cheek.
Okay, I can remember that one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, no, that's all. Yeah. Well, they're all the same anyhow. Something's taking a bit of time. I knew it, boo-boo. So that's one of the...
I was expecting you to bring all your coloured $2 coins.
No, well, no, I've made a mistake. I thought that a lot of people, I've got the wrong century, but never mind, I'm here now.
Yeah, recent acquisitions.
Yeah. Well, actually, these are not. I'm only sort of trying to sell them off for someone else, but anyhow. Yeah, we'll change the subject into acquisition. This is the 1908 bicentenary year, which I thought Mr. was the 21st century, but I'm obviously wrong. They're all sterling silver. The $5 coin, which commemorates the new Parliament House, designed by Stuart Devlin. The 50-cent coin features a special reverse face for the bicentennial year, designed by Mike Tracy. The $1 coin features a special reverse face for the bicentennial, designed by Stuart Devlin again. And the $2 coin replacing the $2 banknote, designed by Horst Hahn. Then again, we're still on the bicentenary.
Federation.
We have the first one is the Aboriginals. First Australians were the Aboriginals, the nomadic hunters who lived in tribal systems across the continent. Quite a bit more information there, but I think that's enough for that one. And the commemorating the British settlement. The news of the Great Southland was reported in Europe by early explorers and confirmed by British Captain James Cook in 1770. And so on from there, so we continue on to, it's still going. Then we have the early explorers and pioneers. Quite a few of those, of course. No particular names, it just lists that they are the explorers, etc. And Federation. In 1901. Followed by our Defence Forces, which covers the each of them, and then living together in one country. At times, you wonder whether we are in fact living together with some of the disputes that seem to keep going on.
We're actually living on top of each other nowadays.
That way. Then moving on to what should have been, as George pointed out, the 21st century. In 2012 there was a commemorative medal commemorating the Vietnam War, which is a tribute to the Australians who served in Australia's longest war, the Vietnam War. Almost 60,000 Australians, including ground troops and Air Force and Navy personnel, served in Vietnam. 521 died as a result of the war and over 3,000 were wounded. The war was the cause of the greatest social and political dissent in Australia since the conscription referendums of the First World War. Then in 2016 we had a commemorate, or I don't know if you commemorate or remember the opening of the Australia's first mints.
1960. Oh no, that's 1855. So I thought
They're still in
Then in 2018 we had a coin out for rascals and ratbags during the commemorating the Australia's convict era. This coin was produced in 2018. Australia's convicts were a mixed bunch whose stories have helped to build Australia's history. James Zarumbo Davis escaped and lived with the indigenous Gingabara people for years before becoming a shopkeeper, well known for his exceptional boomerang skills. Stories like this still influence the later generations who created modern Australia. So you done with the centenary of Qantas?
Yeah. It's 21st century.
That's the 21st century, yeah, so that's something was put out there for that one. The dinosaurs, recent acquisitions.
Yeah.
Oh, you put them in too?
The centenary of Qantas there, it came out in 2020, but you really didn't see them much in 2020. Recently, they've been appearing, so they've obviously been stuck back, and the bags of them are now coming out. But if you look on the Royal Australian Mint website, they're saying the mintage is only 600,000 of that coin, which is really low.
No, it'll be one of the rarest dollars then.
Allowing my industry.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, One's the Republic of Slovenia. It's the European Union ascending. These ones that became part of the
Slovenia.
And this one is Poland here. And that's some of the coins now are from the 21st century, but the major one is actually from the 21st century. So yes, it's the currency they used before and the currency they will be using.
Right. So the €1.
Yeah, and then there's another €1 there.
So the €1 is encased in a metal.
Yeah,
What year is that one?
that's 2003. That one. It was actually. This one's 2004. This one, the Polish one. Yeah. That's the Polish one. It's similar. Yeah. I got sent it years ago by someone overseas. Sent it to me. Yeah. And I did some exchanging of coins. Yeah.
So this is the
That's also then when they became part of when they changed over from their zloty to
Yeah.
euro. Yeah. That was also around about 2004. Quite a few countries that became used the euro after that. Yeah.
so this is a common side. So this is
Yeah.
the side that similar to all the countries,
Yeah. And, they got
and that's a
different
specific one with the Polish eagle.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Maurice? Beer? Tony, you bring any tinnies?
Well, they don't have. Oh, yes, he doesn't collect 21st century tinnies.
They go in the bank.
Oh, of course.
Oh, you've got one. They also got euros.
As some of you might know, I collect PNCs as well. I used to. And when the euros came out in 2002, I managed to find some English PNCs that they made for the euro countries. So this is quite a big,
It's a big one, yeah.
a big PNCs,
What do you got?
and they show the stamps of the countries, and then the coins of each country. And on the other side, they show you the 12 nations that took part in the euro coinage in 2002. So,
Luxembourg's got a similar flag to Holland.
so that was the normal side. This is the German one. So these are the German stamps and coins.
Oh,
With the German coins, these are all 2002 coins, but when Germany produced the euro coins, they have 4 different mints that make the coins. So there's 4 different mint marks. So you collect A for Berlin, A, B, A, D, G, F, I think it was.
It's one for Stuttgart, isn't it?
Yeah, one was Stuttgart.
Yeah.
Dortmund. So that's the first one for Germany.
Yeah, for Berlin used to be on the East German coins had an A, I think it was. Yeah.
The second one was for Austria. I probably had them in alphabetically, but they've been moved around a few times, so they're not alphabetical anymore. So this is the Austrian side. The
Oh, this is a nice colour.
the 1 and 2 euros. So the €1 is Mozart, and the €2 is a lady by the name of Sutter.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, nice they are.
The next one is Ireland.
Oh, right.
So you,
Oh, yeah,
you have your
the harp.
Irish stamps and coins. The Ireland has the harp. So you can see they have the harp on all their coins.
Each of these companies has produced their own, or is it because they're all the same sort of...
Yeah, most of them
carriage
produce their
coins.
own.
But
But
they're using a standard, yeah.
You can use them in any country that belongs to takes a euro, can't you? You can use your, yeah.
This one is from Finland,
Oh, Finland. Oh, yeah.
and again they have the sort of Finnish lion on most of the coins.
Oh, the upper Scandinavian ones didn't do it.
There's a couple of swans or geese that were flying on that one, and they have some flowers on that one. Finland, when they first started, it's a €1 cent, €2 cent, €5 cent, and they put out a pack that people could buy before the coins officially came in, with all these coins. And there was a lot of debate whether they would actually make the 1 cent and the 2 cent coins, because it was such low value. I said, you know, it's like our 1 and 2 cents. Why bother? It has no value. But because everyone has to agree with everything, they do. So they produced it. But there was a lot of debate going on whether they would make them or not. And so as a result, those specimen packs that they put out shot up in value because everyone was buying them because they had the 1 and 2 cent coin in them. And there was a lot of speculation that the 1 and 2 cents would never be circulated. I remember getting some from Martin and all, and I sort of think back and think, I should have sold those. But that's the way it goes. This one is from France. So it's the French one.
Oh, it's got lists.
Again, they sort of follow some of the earlier coins with the ladies sewing the early 20th century coins with the lady sowing the seeds. I can remember later on, Rudy giving us a talk on this once, and in the, I think it's the 1920s or so, this design came out on this 10 centimes and 20 centimes of the sower, and this lady eventually fell on hard times and she starved to death.
Oh.
And she'd applied to the government for aid and grant and what next, saying, you know, you've used my portrait on the coins and what next. And by the time the government got around to doing something, she died. Died of starvation. Belgium. So, I forget who the king was there. King Albert, I think it was.
King Albert, yeah. Yeah, because his brother had died before then, yeah.
España. Spain.
Oh, it's got the king on it, yeah, come on, Carlos, yeah.
It's still King Juan Carlos on these ones because it was 2002.
He abdicated since then, hasn't he? Or,
He abdicated in favour of his son.
oh, yeah.
Juan Carlos had a very interesting life, or the House of Bourbon, which they were. They were in exile. His father was in exile, and they were in exile in, I think it was Italy, after the revolution, and who was it? Franco. Yeah, Franco took over. But eventually they invited him back there, so the Bourbons are back there now.
Franco did it? Or something? Yeah.
Franco.
Yeah. But he allowed them to come back after he died, didn't he? Yeah.
Greece. The Greek ones were very interesting because Greece joined the EU, the Eurozone, at the very last minute, the year before. So it's 2001 that Greece decided to come in. They sort of just made the parameters and what next. And they really didn't have enough time to make all their coins. So some of their coins are made by foreign mints. So I forget which is which. I think the two euros has S on it because it was some of them were made in Athens, but some of them were made in Helsinki in Finland. So they have the S for Suomi on them. Some of them were made in Spain, so they have an E for España.
Oh, spot, yeah. All right.
And some of them were made in France. So they have the F mint mark. So when you're looking at the 2002 coins of Greece, the euro coins, you've got to look for the mint marks because there are different mint marks.
It looks nice. Yeah, there's lots there.
What's this one? Portugal.
Oh, Portugal. Oh, yeah, they actually had a euro on their stamps too.
Yeah. Yes, on the flag, so
Oh, yeah.
they have the normal Portuguese symbol on it. Luxembourg. The Grand Duke Henry of Luxembourg. Netherlands. And in 2002 it was still Beatrix.
Oh, that's right. They got
Queen
they got a king
Beatrix.
now. They got a king now. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And lastly, Italy.
This is Italy, is it? Oh, yeah, Italy.
Italy, yeah. So they have one of the Michelangelo designs on the bottom, and they have Dante
Oh, Dante.
on the upper one, on the €2.
And they got some buildings. Oh, they got the Colosseum there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the ones I brought because I thought everyone else would be bringing Australian coins. I thought I'd bring something different.
So was there one for the UK as well?
Hmm?
Was there one for the UK as well, or did I miss?
I didn't bring them.
Yeah, but there was one.
No, of these.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
because it still
Just
uses the
euros.
pounds. It doesn't use the euro. But
Yeah.
there were a couple of others for the Vatican and for Monaco.
Oh, really?
And I thought I had them, but obviously I don't because I didn't show them to you. But, well, maybe I've got them at home somewhere because I remember buying those thinking, hooray! You know, it's so hard to get coins from Monaco.
Yeah.
So I got that one and got it there. And they were French coins. They were the French euros. And the same with the Vatican. It had the Vatican stamps, but it had the Italian coins on it.
Oh, no.
Those Vatican euros, remember when the euro came out in the 2002 for the Vatican? Because the Vatican put out all their coins the 500 lira and the 1,000 lira bimetallic coins, similar to it was made by the Rome Mint, so similar to San Marino and Rome and Italy. And there I was thinking, oh, I can finally get some Vatican coins. But the normal sets, not these ones, these ones are made up. These are made up in England. They're made up by British Benhams, which is an English house that makes lots of first day covers and things. But the ones that were put out, the year sets and what next that were put out for the Vatican, they were selling for $1,000 US.
Wow.
Remember that? The 2002,
It's so
$1,000 US. And I was thinking, my God. And they're still selling for $1,000 US. And if you buy them by the ballot and what next, you still have to pay like a couple of $100 just to get them. So forget it. I'm not going to collect it. Don't need everything.
Thanks, Rod.
So that was my lot. I'll leave them here for you to look at.
Have I left anyone out? Lindy, have you got anything to say?
No, I'm sorry.
No, I don't. When you were talking about
I'll scan them at home. I don't have to.
those
Yeah,
euros,
easier.
in the UK, they actually do trade with euros.
Yes, yes, I
The
know.
shops accept them and everything else, so people, Europeans or even Brits, if they've got them,
Yeah.
they do trade with euros actually across the town, so
Just
It's
your
money. Yeah.
it's funny.
They still do, even now.
Yeah, now, might be more so now.
They're in plastic.
All right, then, well, listen, I'll
you
close
done
the
them all?
meeting, but
Yeah.
I'll let you know that our
I
next
did them
meeting
as
on
group
Monday,
shots
the
and then
10th of
turned one
October,
over to show the back.
is here at Phil's house at 8 p.m. The topic is ships and navigators. So, yeah, we'll all bring in our medals and coins to show at the meeting. All right, thank you all for coming, and thank you all for electing our new committee for the next 12 months. And we'll see you all next month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, no, you won't, I won't be here.
We'll give you apologies if we remember.
Oh, well, I'll let you know before then, don't worry, yeah.
Good.
When you asked me, can you bring the coins, I said, no, I'm away. Then you can put my apologies in there.
Right.
Now you were
sure
trying
you
to, which
bid.
sets are you trying
I
to
will
sell?
bid,
This
don't
one and this one?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've looked at the next auction. It's ready to run.
Oh, you tend to, okay, because it's still set up under construction.
Are they back in the right
Yeah, it's
order?
still under construction. I haven't
no
opened
idea.
it yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
But I
I
managed to
think
get
pretty
things
close
to
to
it.
it. Oh, no,
But there's a
that one.
lot of ANS medals in it.
Don't look at me.
And there's some ANS medals that both Peter and I hadn't seen before. So, hey,
Wild prices for it.
I forgot to say, I got that the day she
I
died.
know, I'm not going to
Oh wow!
Hang
On
on.
Thursday.
Peter
Yeah,
and
that's
his
what I
daughter
think
will
I
end up
liked
with
it.
them. Full time.
Sorry, which one is it?
You must have a collection of ALS stuff now.
Oh, I'll see yes
I
in a
just
minute.
realised
Yeah.
I dotted you on the other things and
Yeah, I think I've got
Yes.
the A and the U. I didn't realise when people were talking about them,
Yes, for what, swimming or something?
Oh,
Or-
you
no,
need to
Australia.
do direct deposit for your membership.
Australia.
Yes, yes,
That
I'll do
spells
that.
out the-
And if I
Yeah,
get
Oh, yeah,
there's,
I see.
the old,
I only saw it the other
get that
day. There's
the
a
old,
similar sort of a set. You
Okay.
got,
So that's a set, there's a whole,
now, there's only the three $2, A, U and S.
the gold.
Oh, L,
But there's, I think it's four $1
oh, okay.
in the set. But when I first heard about this, the alphabetical, I thought it was the whole alphabet.
Right, no.
But this particular lot, no.
They
that's-
also had the coins on there too.
But there are,
They also put the coins on
I
there.
think there's currently about
on this
3 or 4 actual
I know Portugal
full
did, yeah.
alphabet sets.
Right.
Oh, they,
These ones,
they make
like I've got
stamps of
S,
pictures, yeah.
like,
Trouble is, I'll have to stick to my discipline of only accepting them in change.
yeah, well that's what I'm doing now, and you just can't keep buying this stuff. Yeah, but of all things, I got Z in Broken Hill.
You should have
They put out too many coins to Australian, the Royal
Oh, yeah, it's great.
They're going like the post office.
Yeah, it's just ridiculously.
But the post office is it's getting bad, but the Royal Australian Mint is putting out coins all the time.
Yeah, well, the post office now, about the only thing you can't buy there is a stamp. You can buy everything else, but
Saturday or Sunday. I prefer Saturday.
yeah, I was tongue in cheek when I realised the wrong century, but never mind.
No, that's all right.
But I say these are not mine; they're a friend's or friend's husband's that's passed away. So but I've put a few to auction and getting absolutely nothing for the uncirculated and proof sets. Getting less than what he paid for them.
Well, some occasionally a couple of them are worth a little bit more than you can get.
The odd one, yeah.
Odd one, yeah, but most of them are not really worth the money to print it.
No, that's the thing. I'm finding the time you pay commission and whatever else, you're getting bugger all. So I said to her, look, I'll hang on to them. Hopefully things will.
Yeah, things might. Well, some of the Queen Elizabeth coins have actually gone through the roof since she died.
Oh, that's I reckon that'll happen.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, the platinum ones that come out, they were about that came out early in the year. They're about $150 now.
That's my Qantas ones.
Do you know, Cobalt are the same phenotype. They've lost taste and stuff.
That's one I swapped with Frank.
I still feel a bit lethargic. You know, get out and work. So I was talking to the chemist today. He said, what's happening in lots and lots of people. I said, I believe this COVID is really just the people.
Really short of S's.
And how many do you need?
You're not getting the amount of oxygen in your blood. And that's why you're being deprived of energy.
Yeah, because I've got a lot of A's and a lot of U's, but I just never got the S's.
Could be
Yes,
straight
it's
too.
about
Sit down and lie
I
down.
don't think they actually
And
brought them down, they're probably still in bags. Well, thank you for bringing Joe. I hope you weren't too bored.
It's up my alley.
Oh, well, feel free to come anytime.